if we were to say how, if people were to see things a certain way and they saw Maladon, what would be required? Or for the people who do see Maladon, what did they do? What is it that they see?
And I was also just thinking that really Maladon are just like a creature that someone, or like an essence or a creature, but I'm just thinking how they really are just like, we have gnomes and we have elves and we have all these different things that people have seen. Maladon is that, and it's also
a new version of it.
It's also not necessarily. I mean, they are physical forms, but I was thinking they're also his essence.
Which, along with that, like the spirits, elves, like all these different variations of things that people, if they tuned in a certain way or aligned a certain way, they would be able to pick up on something.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense that there's like infinite of those.
Yeah.
And when people align a certain way, like they pop into one of those infinite other areas, that there would be one distinct form, one distinct version of the thing that, due to their culture and due to their paradigm and due to where they are and that kind of like perceptual shift and how they go from there, makes them line up with something specific, and that specific thing comes into their world, and we call that an overscape of just the however people have aligned themselves. And you could almost say it's like a matrix of like a way of life, a grid. And when you pop into one, the current world is like internet and cell phones and video games and
social media. And,
it's like a totally, like it's one of the infinite pockets.
Yeah.
And it's very distinctly ours. And there's like a focus on things like AI, where in another dimension entirely, they wouldn't have the internet. They wouldn't think about AI. They wouldn't think about any of this stuff. But maybe they would do something else entirely. Like maybe they would have tackled things like space travel a lot sooner because they focused on some kind of electromagnetic field related technology. Or maybe they did like the Tesla thingy and they had this energy field around the world pulling energy out of it. So cell phones don't even work. So then, like, you have a totally different world. Like, all these different potentials. And the potentials of the stories that we're talking about in terms of, like, Frodo puts on the ring and he sees a different world. The different world and different way of perceiving happens to include other form, another creature, another species, that is, like, one of the infinite aliens or elves or angels or any kind of, like, other thing that humans end up in contact with.